Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back and thank you for joining me. We are here for another route review. This is round 7 of the WTRL Zwift Racing League and we are back for the second team time trial of the season. We're in Richmond and this is the UCI reverse course. So looking at the tail of the tape, this is a team time trial, so that means a minimum of 4 team members, a maximum of 6. However, you can ditch 2 midway round. Your time will be taken after the 4th rider crosses the line. The route is 32.6 kilometres, 315 metres of elevation, so it's 2 laps of the Richmond UCI reverse course. As a TTT, there's no intermediate segments to worry about this week. We've got 3 power-ups, and they are the aero helmet, the draft van and the feather. Nothing completely useless this week, although I'd expect the feather to be a little useful. The climbs are all kind of front-loaded, you don't want to be holding on to it to try and get the most out of it. Bike choice as usual is the Tron, but beware because the rider doesn't change position on the Tron like he does on other bikes, so you can't see you're in the draft. The other option is the Specialized S-Works Venge with the big disc wheel on the back for a maximum aero. The climbs themselves aren't really long enough to warrant anything too lightweight, so you're just looking for something with decent aero, get the big disc wheel on the back and get going. So let's head out on course and see what we've got to look forward to this week. So out on course you can see the pens on the left hand side and we're onto the start and finish straight. So use this long straight to get into formation before you hit your first descent. Coming down here it's around 8%. Feel free to super duck here for maximum efficiency, especially on lap 2 when those legs are starting to feel the burn. Get pedalling again about 0.9 kilometres as the road flattens out. And as the road turns left here you start to pick up to 1.2 kilometres into the course. A false flat around 1% before you take it right and it's onto the first proper hill of the day, the 23rd Street climb. So this starts at 1.6 kilometres with a gradual 3%, but within 100 metres it's up to 7%, so work with your team, don't drop the heavier riders. The 7% continues till around 1.9 kilometres when you can see the top of the hill, but the road picks up again to 9% and onwards to 11%. It finally ends at the 2 kilometre mark of lap 1. It does go back for another bite of your legs, a little 4% kick just before you turn right and onto the very short descent, which begins at 2.2 kilometres. Although the descent is short, the heavier riders need to be sure and make sure your lighter riders are still hanging onto the back before you drop the hammer when you get onto the flats. You're at the bottom at 2.4 and straight into a 4% rise that your momentum will take you over. A very short flat before the road turns left and we start climbing again at 2.6 k's. This climb starts by smacking you in the face with 10% before easing back down to 7%, but when you turn right it's onto a peak of 19% before it settles to an average of around 12%. Things finally ease off at 2.9 kilometres to a much more manageable 3%, so keep those legs turning as you approach the next downhill, which is going to be on Libby Hill. Onto the cobbles at 3.3 and under the KOM arch you might get a few seconds of super tuck, but the rest will not last long. Things start to flatten out at 4 kilometres, so get everyone back together, get the pace line going again, and onto the gentle flats. So use this time wisely to get everyone a little bit of recovery, get the pace line going, and get the legs turning. There's not much to write home about here, it's just flat, get everyone sorted after the hills, and get the pace line rolling. You get a small lump around 5.4 k's, it's 100 metres that goes up to maximum 9%, but you'll just roll over that with momentum, then it's back to the flats. Remember to use your time wisely, grab a drink because we're going climbing again in just a minute. The next rise itself is going to come at 6.7 kilometres, and as you turn left the gradient's going to smack you with 11%. Momentum will take you through this one, but then it rises up and sits around 5% most of the way up. When you get about halfway up, you're going to get a small flat section at 7.2 kilometres, gives you 100 or so metres to catch your breath, and then it's back into the uphill section at 4%. Towards the top, the gradient ramps up to 7%, but it finally ends at 7.9 kilometres. This is the area that is most likely to break your team apart. So use the flat section at the top to get everybody back together again. Make sure that nobody's dropped off the back and get your pace line rolling once again. That's really the last of the hills on this course. You're just going to go on to the flat section at the top next. And this is all flat, false flat, through the city, through the sprint points. Nothing especially to worry about. And it's going to take you to the end of the lap eventually. Now, I'm pretty certain you guys don't want to see me just rolling at 200 watts through the flats of the city, so we're going to skip past that. That'll bring us up to the end of the course. So it's very front loaded again. It's much like the first TTT, all the technical things at the front of the course, all the climbs at the front, and then a big section to relax, chill out, catch your breath, and get a good pace line going. Just make sure you don't drop anybody on the hills and you will be fine, and that will take us up to the end of the course. You get one more lap. I'm not going to do 2 laps. Next week is going to take us on to the Sprinters Paradise in Paris. We're going to tackle multiple laps of the Latisse Express on the Champs-Élysées, so I will see you then. Enjoy your time trial and take care.